Rana Ali Khan calls for global solidarity in addressing Syria's disappeared and transitional justice at Human Rights Council. Rana Ali Khan, chairman of the International Human Rights Movement, stressed the urgent need for justice for Syria's over 130,000 disappeared persons. Speaking at the Human Rights Council session in Geneva, Khan highlighted the critical role of transitional justice in rebuilding societies devastated by conflict and dictatorship. This call followed Yasmin Almashan, a founding member of the Caesar Families Association, sharing her testimony. Almashan, who lost 5 of her 6 brothers during the early years of the Syrian civil war, emphasized the importance of victim participation in transitional justice. The victims can facilitate peace and justice in Syria, she stated. Khan echoed these sentiments, stressing that the international human rights movement stands with victims worldwide. Transitional justice is about creating a future based on human dignity, equality, and peace, he said. A national transitional justice policy for Syria, as advocated by Almashan, is essential for healing and reconciliation. Human Rights Council also heard from UN Human Rights Chief Volker Turk, who praised transitional justice efforts in Guatemala and Colombia. In Guatemala, victim-driven coalitions convicted 31 military and paramilitary personnel for crimes against humanity. In Colombia, efforts to resolve the civil war's aftermath include psychosocial support for victims, land reforms, and ecosystem restoration. Khan praised these initiatives, noting that the international human rights movement has long supported victim-centered, inclusive, and gender-responsive approaches. We must ensure no victim is left behind, he said. Justice is a moral and practical necessity for sustainable peace. The session also addressed the rise in global conflicts, with 2024 marking the highest number of active conflicts since World War II. UN Deputy Human Rights Chief Nava al-Nashif warned that principles of international law protecting humanity from atrocities are under strain. Genocide is preceded by clear patterns of discrimination and incitement, she said. We must act to prevent such crimes. Khan reiterated the international human rights movement's commitment to preventing genocide and other atrocity crimes. The dehumanization of any group threatens humanity as a whole, he said. We must uphold global norms and ensure hateful ideologies are never allowed to grow. As divisions and violence deepen, Khan called for renewed global solidarity. Together, we can build a world where genocide and atrocity crimes are unthinkable. He concluded, the international human rights movement will continue to stand with victims and advocate for justice. The international human rights movement remains at the forefront of global efforts to promote human rights, justice, and peace, ensuring that victims' voices are heard and their suffering addressed.